Hello everybody, this is Simon with Let's Play Sonic Unleashed. We got a chunky episode today, and for once it is not the Werehog's fault. I mean, kind of, because we are sometimes playing as the Werehog, but we are not going to go into a single level. We are instead going to go on a world adventure, because we finally have the freedom to do so. Everywhere we've been to, and another place where we haven't yet, we can now explore day and night. It is great. These parts are legitimately some of my favorite parts of playing this game, and it's something that I just joyfully discovered for myself after just playing it myself, because I saw a lot of Let's Plays before where people were just trying to go through the game super fast and just missed all of this, and I don't know why. It's great. Anyway, this is the hot dog card. They are here in the night version, day version as well, and you can replay the stages, which is nice. I'm still probably not going to do that because it takes a lot of time. More on that later. For now, let's say hi to Ventos. We are going to learn his name later. Spoilers. I'm making fun of his social anxiety. It doesn't matter what you do here. Either way, he will run off because he's scared. Not of Sonic, just of interaction. But he will warm up. A nice NPC, I like him. He's going to turn into a shop and extort a lot of money out of us, if I bother with it. Let's see. Speaking of shops, they are now also open that we have restored the first Chaos Emerald, and we can buy a whole bunch of souvenirs. I am probably going to buy all of them. They're relatively cheap compared to all the other stuff we can buy, and there is a legitimate use for them that we're going to see in a bit. We can also buy food, like for example the famous chili dog, but also strawberry cake. This looks like Chip would love it, right? Because he's a fan of sweet things. And indeed, we can now go into our menu and we can in fact feed this to Chip, what I'm going to do in a second. What this does, if Chip likes the food, he likes Sonic more. And the more he likes Sonic, the more friendship points he gets in the background, and eventually this will trigger unique cutscenes that show the relationship between the two developing. This is kind of cute if you like Chip, for sure. And generally it's something to work towards. It's a money sink for your rings, you can do that. And there's a lot of different foods that Chip likes, and eventually you want to feed him all of the ones that he likes for those cutscenes. I don't know if I'm going to do that. The shining pillars of light over the worlds, by the way, show where story progression is. We're not going to go there, we're going to Apotos first, because for once I can also explore this one freely now, and I'm going to go through the entrance stage and see what we missed with all of those walls blocking us beforehand. Here is the day hot dog card. As you can see here, there are 3 levels to choose from. Basically, replay the level, start to finish, always start to finish. It doesn't end after you reach that ring score or killed enough enemies. You just have to do that while playing through the whole level. And that means that for every day stage, you have to play the level 9 times, because there are 3 levels of increasing difficulty. That means lower time limit, more enemies to kill, and so on. And 6 times for each Werehog. That takes a while. You have to do that if you want to 100% the game. First of all, just because, you know, to do the hot dog stuff, but you also get hot dogs. And some of them you can only get from there. And there is an achievement for having every single food item in the game in your inventory. At least once. I think you can eat them. If you do eat them as Sonic, you gain experience. And there are some that are the best experience, not from the stages, but I think from Ventos actually, which is why he's such an extortionist for many people. And I think that is also a nice system. There is a lot of content in this game, and I'm probably not going to show you all of that off. Give me a break, unless you really want to see the same level 9 times. I don't know, maybe in a stream at some point. But personally, I haven't bothered yet, because I like playing this game, but just getting the S ranks is already a lot of a grind, and it feels more rewarding to me personally. Anyway, enough about the hot dogs. Here, the game wants us to use the stomp ability, which is why it tutorializes the B button. You don't have to do that, you can break those boxes without it. It's kind of funny. Also, just picked up a T. there is a T in every single one of these entrance stages. We got the one for Mazuri already. I don't think I commented on it. And it's just a nice thing to collect for now, but rest assured there will be a side quest for it later. We haven't really seen side quests yet, but we are already setting up for them. And one nice thing here is that you can actually get side quest items before the NPCs tell you, hey, I want this item. Isn't that great? I like that. Also, there is more medals to pick up here, of course, and there is more things to find still in the entrance stage, like for example this optional, very dangerous looking challenge, where you just do a nice little homing attack chain, pick up this extra life, and you're back on solid ground. Was it worth the risk? I don't know. Was it fun? Oh, sure. And here you have to do it to get up here. What do we have here? One of the biggest annoyance for a lot of people. I need more sun medals to reach level 3. That's the 3 that's grayed out here. Oh, there's one, by the way. Missed it. And I can't go into that level right now. Also, you're supposed to use Lightspeed Dash to go up these ring path here, but you don't need to, apparently, because they put an enemy up there. And we won't be getting Lightspeed Dash for quite a while, so that's nice that I could show off what's up there. Also, almost forgot, this is a level 1 requirement stage, and it is Act 1. So something that tripped me up a lot, because like, this is number 1 because it's the first level. It's no, this is the level you need to go into this stage. And the level of light energy, that's it, yeah. Anyway, we're done for the day. Let's switch to the night. And for the last time, I'm going to show off this kind of lengthy animation, which, as I mentioned, is a recreation of the Xbox transition. On PlayStation, it's a much shorter graphic of this metal animating, which is what I'm going to use in the future now. Cutting out a corner which I've already visited beforehand, but I forgot. And showing off another thing here. We know how these doors work from the level, and as we can see, there is a level hidden behind this door now. Act 2, Night, we have enough medals for, because I picked up just a few more night medals by accident, more or less, and that means that we are in fact level 3 for night medals. So I could play this right now, not going to. I put it up for vote, in fact, but nobody wants to see that stage, so we're going to do that last at some point, and maybe bundled together with others. Doesn't matter, more Vero exploration. This corner of the level you can only go to as the Werehog unless you do some crazy speed trick with Sonic, I guess. Clambering along these poles, because that's just basically a Werehog only thing. And there are a few more rewards to find here. Of course, there is another medal, bringing us to 2 out of 2 for the night ones, and another art book, and a little bit of a balancing act here. Now, this one here is very generous, because if you slip off, you can just climb along the side, and it's in fact faster and safer, because you can't fall off like that, and it's preferable if the game lets you. However, later in this very video we're going to see a balance beam where you can't do that. If I forget to point it out, it is in the icy region, so watch out for that. And yeah, with this we get another extra life, so it's nice that you can go basically into an entrance stage, do a few mini challenges and farm these up, but then you risk it all with platforms like this, because if I fall here, I'm dead. Costs another life, the one that I just got maybe, and I've fallen down there quite a bunch of times previously, because I'm clumsy, and platforming as a Werehog takes a little bit of getting used to. I also almost forgot, there is another thing up here that is Werehog exclusive, because you can't go up here with Sonic, and that is a maiden statue. Again, we don't know what this does yet. At this point, I spot the sunlight medal in the distance. I'm like, how do I get up there? But we have already seen now, you know, hindsight 2020, how to get it as Day Sonic, so I'm gonna do that later on. For now, another quality of life feature, you can easily return to the city and then return to the world map without having to run through it all. Very useful in bigger cities like Spagonia, for example, which is where we're going to go next, and ambush cutscene.
Found you, Sonic! Oh, Sonic, I've been looking for you forever!
Hey, let me go!
You're crazy if you think you can get away from Amy Rose and... Who are you? Oh my gosh, I am so sorry! I just completely mistook you for someone else! That is so strange. I could have sworn it was him. Anyway, I'm really sorry. See you later.
Well, that was weird. How come that girl didn't know you were you, Sonic? I mean, I guess you are kinda, you know, and, these guys. Oh, I mean, don't worry. Hey, you only look really scary, Sonic. Inside, you're the same as ever. I guarantee it, okay? Sonic, cheer up. Chocolate. Want some chocolate?
This cutscene is probably the one where Sonic has the most angst about his new body in the entire game. It's kind of tame and I don't mind it, and I'm quite glad that they don't tread this out forever, that everybody hates and shuns him, but I've been over this plenty of times before. Now let's go a little bit further with another side story, talking to a little girl and talking to a serious businessman who is starting to become a little concerned and a little bit more human, which, as I might have hinted at before, is kind of nice. To the left, the entrance stage of Spagonia, still closed by the way, but now that we've come here and can talk to Professor Pickle again, it is now finally open. He is going to repeat again that there are 2 places we can go, one here and one in the freshly unlocked Holoska, but also there is more stuff that we can do here, and we finally, within the span of one video, have a reason to have bought all of these souvenirs. We can give them to him and he will give us a hint or even some medals, which is great because there's basically a way to convert rings into a medal. And also something that he is talking about here are hidden paths for more medals. For example, he is going to tell us about that one secret path in Mazuri's night level, where I was basically like, oh, there is something hidden basically behind the camera. How would I be able to find that? This is how he tells you about it. And that is quite nice. And I think it's a very valid reason to go back to him occasionally if you're stuck. You don't have to have a guide open all the time. More obscure stuff he sometimes does mention. And then you can go into a menu and look at all of the souvenirs again in detail and get a little description on them. There is so much stuff in this game, and I hope you will excuse me if I really don't show off every single square centimeter of it, because we would be here forever. If you really like the game, I strongly recommend you just play it yourself and figure all of this stuff out. You can also get some more background lore, some more info. Here I'm just going to get some more lore about what I've mentioned before, that yes, it is in fact Chip who is opening the level gates, because he needs to be both light and dark strong to grant us the energy to teleport to the stages, ? Doesn't matter, but it is kind of interesting. Alright, and now, as we can see, we can go to the entrance stage in Spagonia for the first time after we've been here twice before without being able to. And what we see immediately is that we can go to the first night act. We're not going to. That was one of the options on the poll and people didn't want it, so it's going to wait a little bit. What we can do, however, as well, is get a little bit of a and more or less organic, that's the word, tutorial for how these switches work, because you really want to open them, right? And then you try out a few things and find out that just the normal basic sweeping attack combo works, and then you can replay the tornado defense. Oh boy, isn't that great? It's very hidden for some reason, because people are like, oh, I really want to get the S rank on that one as quickly as possible. I don't know. And I'm probably not going to do that on camera unless it's like the very last S rank that I'm missing. This red gate, we can't go in there yet. It looks different because this is actually a way to replay the boss of this level once we are there. There's also one for Mazuri and so on. Just haven't checked that out, but that's also something that you can get from here. Good, we're done with the night stuff. Let's look at the day stuff. Rude, they installed lasers here in daylight. Also, very rude, this gigantic button here, we are not heavy enough to push it yet. there is something we might be able to do about that. But for now, there is actually nothing we can do here as Stay Sonic. We can't go up here, we can't go between these walls, and nothing else is unlocked for us, even though there is tantalizingly many level design objects around. But the door isn't open, so this will have to wait for later. This also means that one of the best stages in the game is still tantalizingly out of reach, because we can't play Rooftop Run Act 1 day. Too bad about that. Alright, I don't want to linger here for too long, so I'm just going to talk to one or two more NPCs, and I'm not going to, for example, look for the shop in Spagonia. That should also be available at this point, but honestly I forgot to check it out. It's fine, and we will look into getting on with our lives at some point here, because after all there is an entirely new region to explore, and I really can't talk to every single NPC at every time of the day, right? Like, for example, Dora just now was mentioning in day that she likes the night more, so obviously she has different dialogue at night, and it's like, oh my god, if I want to see all of that, we would be here for months. We'll probably still be here for months. It would be years. Anyway, this is Holoska. It's cold. And look at that. There is Ventos already. The mysterious youth, whose name I've spoiled twice because I don't respect him. It's not true. He's kind of cool. But I'm still going to make fun of him. It doesn't matter what you say in these original conversations. He will still move on to a different place. And after four times I think, and then a fifth time you do have to say the right thing, and then he will become a vendor for you and will extort you. And speaking of vendors, another shop here. Just getting the usual souvenirs. I'm not getting the canned horror, even though it would be really funny to feed that to Chip, but I'm running slowly low on funds actually, so there is actually a functioning economy in this game. I'm also not buying all of the records right now because I'm not going to listen to them, you know, so that's something that can wait for later. Another thing here is you saw again the purple swirlies over this guy's head, and this hints again that there is something going on with him. He is kind of acting strangely, and it's not just because he's getting old. There is something more going on. I do like this pervasive thread of hints throughout the game that there is something that is not quite right here, and of course maybe later on you can do something about that, because we still have not even come close to unlocking all of the systems in this game. There is just a lot of game in Sonic Unleashed. Anyway, from deep behind the village, that refers to the entrance stage, and because I do not find any more medals while exploring, we are going to go straight there. Entrance stage, Holoska at night. Still not fully explorable. You see that wall to the right. There is just a hard barrier for us at night. However, we can go up here. We can also figure out slowly that there are in fact ice physics on ice. We're going to see that later on. But first of all, one extra path up here, where these are the balance beams that I've talked about before. These ones do not have a grip on the side. This is kind of nice of the game to show these off in a safe environment, where if you do explore, you already know about that, because when you later go to the night stage in this world, it won't be a surprise, right? So that's nice. But it does depend on you engaging with the game a little, being willing to explore and figuring out that, hey, you can't do that trick which you hopefully, ideally, have been using beforehand. So that is definitely the game asking something of you as the player, which I respect, but it can of course put people off who do not want to engage and would just rather prefer a tutorial where the game just says, hey, do this, by the way. I don't quite get these levers. There is a certain combination to open the door. I don't know it yet. I think I might find it out later. Like, I don't officially know it yet. I know it as a person because it's always the same. But there is nothing behind there for now anyway. So let's kill this very, very annoying bug first. I really don't like fighting these enemies. They might be my least favorite ones. You have already seen that they are actually kind of hard to hit because they keep flying away. I am getting better in this playthrough using the aerial attacks, so maybe this is going to be the thing that pushes me over the edge of just always despairing when I see like 3 or 4 of those in an enemy group. But yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself, so just saying that there might be some cursing at those later on. There is also another platform up here which I missed before. There's only 6 rings up there. I don't know why, but this, I guess it serves as a tutorial for the ice physics, because you could clearly see how I was sliding here. Yeah, I don't know. So, done with night for now, because as I said, first of all, we don't officially know what the lever door is for, and also there is the boss refight behind it, which we can't do, and one other stage which we can't do yet. So, day, and something very interesting there, which the cutscene clearly showed us that we want, boots. These boots are obviously spiked, so with them we can now ignore ice physics. Now that's not what they're for, but you would think so, right? They are heavy, and now we can stomp. Indeed, thank you, Chip. Stomping is amazing. This is an essential skill to do a lot better and have a lot more control in day levels. However, this tutorialized intended purpose sucks terribly, because getting on top of these things, as I've shown off twice now, is really damn annoying, and this is not what you want to stomp for. You want it to break momentum in the day stages so that you can control where you land. For that, it's great. Also, as you just saw, we can go to Cool Edge Act 1 now, which is the level after the next level we're going to visit, because the second highest amount of votes were cast for that. And here is some more extra stuff we can do with the stomp. For example, one application, break the ground. This is what they wanted us to do in Apotos, but I was cleverer and figured out that I can break the boxes without it. But here, that's quite nice, and this is usually where I'm like, okay, so this is a nice application of the stomp. Press the button once, break through something. If you do this in the flow of gameplay, that's cool. Hitting a stompy thing 3 times after you have finally arranged yourself on top is not my idea of fun, conversely. Anyway, you can also see here now that the entrance stages themselves are getting a little bit more involved as well, and more dangerous. I have died in this water quite a lot of times because I boosted wrong angle too early, so yeah, that can definitely happen. Now, while I pick up the last medals here in the day version, I'm not going to talk to everyone again. I think we have done enough now. As I said, next time we're actually going to go back to Apotos. For now, that was a long exploration video, but as I said, I really like these segments. They give the game so much flavor and texture, and it's really nice. Thank you very much for your attention.